Ewans, welcome back to my channel. It's WinnieBeeLV, Mouth of the South. We got an intro, we got an outro, we got this hoe. Girl, let's just bring it all back. Let's just go to part 2 of the commenter. If you didn't see Saturday's video, I'll post it down below. Maybe circle it up around my head or whatever above me. I always say that and then I forget to link above, but it will be down below. So I bought this bag and I love it. It is, for those of you who don't know, this is the, I want to say Over the Moon. Yeah, I think that's it. Over the Moon, I think. Anyway, something to do with the moon. I'll link it down below. But I bought this strap, and the reason I was so gung-ho about buying this strap was because, remember, I got sort of what I perceived to be a mean and nasty comment by someone who I really thought, I have to be honest with you, I just 100% thought it was just somebody wanting to start stuff, and I just thought it was kind of like a troll. Somebody was trolling me. But I got an email after the video from the actual commenter, and I asked her if I could, you know, sort of go over this with you and make another video because I was snarky and kind of, so like, it's that thing of when you're a kid, when your mom says like, just because somebody is mean to you doesn't mean you have to give it back, right? But she also did explain in her emails what she meant by the way that she said she didn't like the way and the tone of her email, and so that did bother her and she was apologizing for that. And I said, well, you know, I'm so sorry that I basically went in and was so, you know, we were both kind of not nice about it. But when she started explaining to me the reason that it sort of set her off, she said the part of the video that set her off the worst when I did that original Louis Vuitton Hate You video, one of the things was I said, you know, I contacted Louis Vuitton at my essay and I said to her, hey, I want to get a strap, but before I buy this bag, pre-loved, I want to make sure that you will sell me the strap. And my essay was not allowed to do that. I mean, different stores, they're different. So that, you know, sort of was like, why can't I? But you know, that set her off, okay? And the reason it did, I'm going to read some stuff to you from the email, but she had, to paraphrase it, where it sent her off, she had gone to the flagship store in Paris, and apparently she went to buy an item and the SA would not sell her the item even though they had the item in stock because people, I guess she had seen on social media where people were using the item for something other than what it was intended for. And I don't blame her on this. I would be livid, and she was. So that sort of gave her a little bad taste, but then she also went on to say it's kind of that thing of influencers influencing Louis Vuitton. And I got to thinking about that, and she gave a couple examples, right? And now I want to say, guys, like, she's a lovely person. Everybody has bad days. People aren't always going to agree with you. You guys know that. That's human nature. People aren't always going to be, hey, loved your channel, this is great. You know, some people are going to, it's going to hit a nerve. Something you say might hit a nerve. You don't mean to, but it does. And I get that. I get that. Sort of the way that I responded to her comment being, you know, kind of ugly. What my mom would say, you were just being ugly. Stop doing that. But yeah, but she went on to give a couple of examples, and this begged the question to me, like, this made me think, do influencers, and I mean, I'm talking about like, you know, Instagram, TikTok, I'm talking about all the platforms like YouTube, people who show luxury goods and things like that, especially we're talking about Louis Vuitton, do influencers influence what they do and how they sell you products? And I think she has a point here. And I want to ask you guys this and get you to comment and weigh in. And if you have a channel and it's something that you feel strongly about, please, of course, respond in kind and see if you could do a video about this too, noticing what you know about Louis Vuitton and do you think this is a thing? I kind of do now that she sort of told me a couple of things. So remember a few years ago, they said, we are stopping the toiletry 26. We are no longer going to sell it. But at the same time, if you went on Instagram, every single person that was in the luxury handbag community at the time, that most of them were buying like conversion kits to put a chain or a strap around their bag, their toiletry, and turn it into a bag when that's not its intended purpose. Although, didn't Princess Di turn it into a clutch? Right? But I see where she was going with this, because she was saying they stopped making it altogether, only to then, a year later or whatever it was, come out with their own version, which included a place to put a strap and wear it crossbody. They're okay with you crossbodying as long as you bought all that from them, right? I was like, oh my God, you're so right. I do remember that. And then there was such a thing a few years ago, it's not even been that long ago, where I know a lot of YouTubers at the time were saying like, oh, your basic B bag. And one of them was the Neverfull. So you guys remember what happened to the Neverfull? They, the price was very affordable at the time. You could go in and buy any of the Neverfulls in the store. But when influencers started like, that's your basic bag, like that's an entry-level basic, they started raising the price up, right? And then they said, okay, we're no longer going to sell the Neverfull inside the store. So sorry, you have to get on a waiting list, which created such a frenzy. I think it was just last year. It's been within the last year or so. Created such a frenzy and such a need for, I remember the toiletry 26, people were going mad. You could basically sell one for a lot of money, a whole lot of money, okay? So yeah, when they brought that toiletry back, remember they put the chain on it or the place to put a strap on it, and then they raised the price up. So totally makes sense. Like this all clicked with me. And the other thing, and this one is just my example, 3-4 years ago, they released, I don't know if you remember this little bag, but the multi-pochette accessoires. They released that. But before they released it, remember what they did? They sent it to all kinds of big, huge influencers. Like Justin Timberlake was wearing the dang thing. Like it was everywhere. Everywhere you saw. It was such a frenzy. Even I got into the hype. I didn't get it, but I wanted it so bad. And why? I would never in my right mind think, yep, there's, one bag with another bag hanging off of it and a little, I need that. What? No, I don't need that. But we were going crazy. So yes, I think she's right. I think her thoughts are valid. I do feel like that sometimes influencers do influence, and in this case we're gonna say Louis Vuitton. I can't speak to all the other brands because I don't really shop all the other brands, maybe Coach, but I think Coach sometimes will get a lot of their inspiration from some of the bigger, a lot of their bags. But I love Coach, so it doesn't matter. But we're talking about Louis Vuitton. Anyway, my original point was, yeah, do influencers influence Louis Vuitton? And then do they? So I can see her point of me just calling up, my essay and saying, well, before I buy this bag, I really want it, but I need you to sell me. That would, and then I show it to you guys that I did that. And now everybody's like, well, you did it for this chick on YouTube. This old lady on YouTube's got a little channel. You sold hers. Why can't you sell me one? And then them being like, okay, policy change, sorry, straps are no longer available, we're no longer parting things out. I can see where it would go. It's just a crazy like soup. You remember the soup Nazi? No soup for you. Remember that on, was it Friends? No, it was Seinfeld. So I can see them being that way and driving the market that way. It's the thing of like, they create the scarcity. They hype up a bag. They send a bunch of bags out. They totally influence you on it. And then they no soup for you, only make, 75 of them. Right? It totally makes sense. So original commenter and I have totally squashed whatever we had. I don't hold any ill will toward her. I totally get where she was coming from. Her points are valid and her thoughts are valid. She did agree that she came across a little, you never know in writing someone's true intent. And I really struggle with that. I very much struggle with, interpreting some text. Like, are they, because a lot of times I'll say to Dawn, like, Dawn, look at this text. What do you think? Were they being an a-hole? And she's like, well, you took it that way, but really it could be this. And, you know, so I do run it by my friends and of course my daughters first. And then I go, okay, I can see where I was being, because I get hackles up really quick. Anyway, that being said, I know that it's an influencing game because, guys, I know where she's coming from so much. All of these bags that I have bought, seriously, I would never have wanted them just from looking. Maybe I would have from looking at the site, but it's that unboxing and seeing someone else buy it. And totally, I can tell you there's 10 bags back here that I would never have looked at twice if someone had not unboxed it, shown it, or I hadn't seen it all over Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I'm seriously like, okay, then I start thinking like wheels clicking, like, do I need that bag? Do I want that? I really want that bag. I totally get it. And I know a lot of you have written me comments before and emails saying, girl, I bought this bag because you showed it and you loved it. And I totally get that. We are all being influenced, but it does kind of make you not want to buy Louis Vuitton much anymore if they're totally running the game by, you know, putting out things because we like them and we talk about them and we're influenced, and then we're just doing their dirty work basically. But yeah, original poster and I, the commenter, we have made up. I totally get where she's coming from, and she is totally valid. So no hate for her, only love for everybody, just pumping out the big love today. And that's basically it. I hope this weekend you'll join me because I want to show you some jewelry. So if it's not this Saturday, then it will be Monday, but I'm waiting on some jewelry to come from Jeulia. Once I get that, I'm going to show you what Bill got me for Valentine's Day and how my views on jewelry have changed a little bit since I started this channel and what I'm totally into now as opposed to this time even 5, 6, 7 years ago. So there again, it's influencing. But anyway, if I could just influence you on hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like, commenting down below your thoughts, give me some examples of what you think LV is doing. Like, what's going on there? Should we be concerned? We should be concerned. I have vowed not to buy anything for a while. I won't name it a low buy or a no buy, but I'm pumping them brakes. This is my year to pump the brakes, girl. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to the commenter for reaching out to me. I totally appreciate that. And no hard feelings. I don't harbor any ill will, and I hope you don't towards me either. So there we go. If y'all will do me one more favor, girl, if y'all see my husband, woohoo, don't tell him nothing. Bye. So what I wanted to say about I'm pumping the brakes on this year, 2024. Even further pushing me along to do that, I got my Rakuten check, which is like, you know, all the stuff I bought to the end, like last quarter. They give you a quarterly, they call it a big fat check. And we were talking about it in our chats and comparing checks, and mine was pretty substantial. And that led me to know that, oh yeah, you did some damage last year. So yeah, girl, we're gonna just pump those brakes. But now I have to come up with good ideas and stuff to show you and stuff to talk about. The horror of creating. Hey, do me a favor though. I'm gonna put a video I created right here. Hit this video and keep on watching. But seriously, to the commenter, I do want to thank you because without your comment, I really would have missed out on buying this bag. You sort of spurred me on to buy this. And I love you for it. Biatch!